Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Hello, my name is Mike, and today's show is brought to you by our Amazon page. Please remember to shop at MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon. It's quite simply the best way to support this show. If you need it, Amazon has it, and you can get it at MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon. Bookmark it, please.
Available on demand every day in iTunes and the Google Play Store and around the world on MikeO'MaraShow.com. What more can we do for you? It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
All right, Rob, it's the second day he's done that. Ponyboy Matt Bloom jumping up at the beginning of the show with a concerned look on his face, and I have to ask again, nothing to do with me.
No, Mr. O'Reilly, everything is fine.
Very good.
We're going to do it live.
Look, sit down, Bloom. We got a show to do, for the love of God,
Sorry, Bill. Is it the Factor?
Yes.
It's the Factor.
Mike, it's the attention to detail here on the program. Let me
double
tell you.
down,
Yes.
baby, double down.
Everybody's doubling down, O'Reilly. You know
Doubling
that.
down. All right, without further ado, let's get right to our opening feature on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a brand new feature on the show we like to call Oscar Santana's Storytime Theater. That's right. Gather everybody around the radio so that Oscar can tell a wonderful tale that everybody in the family will enjoy. Well, maybe not. What's the title of today's story,
Well,
Oscar?
Mike, I'm flipping the script, if you will.
I will.
When to Walk Away is the title of this story.
When to walk away.
Yes.
So is this a story? I know when you tell stories, and you tell stories all the time, even when we're not on the show, you'll call me and you'll tell me a story. Is this a story that teaches a lesson?
It teaches a lesson.
So you know what this is, Mike? It's a fable.
Well, let's get right to it. I'm excited. I'm pulling up the chair right now. I'm going to put a little plaid blanket over my knees, and I'm going to start the fire and listen to this. What better to do when you're having a tropical heat wave? Anyway, when to walk away.
Yes,
Take it away,
yes.
Oscar. I'm
Gentlemen,
dying with anticipation.
I have a friend. She will go nameless. She has been dating this guy for 9 months, and they have been really getting a little more serious as the months go by, right?
Is it Beth Ann McBride?
No. This day and age, the kids, I imagine, have like multiple options when they date, right? They've got apps to meet new people, so when they actually find someone they're going to date for a while, I imagine it gets serious.
I'm sorry.
Correct?
I don't know what I did. I'm sorry. I really didn't mean to do that.
I thought we'd gone from fable to Jewish folklore. I didn't know what happened there.
I don't know what happened. I was
Back to the story.
Yes, go
They've
ahead.
been dating for 9 months.
Did they meet on an app?
I don't. That's not important to the
Okay,
story.
I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Enough with your detailed questions. Let's get.
Let's
to the
let
meat
him
of
tell
it.
his story, for God's sakes,
True.
Rob.
Yeah, it's a fable.
So, the young lady has access to his condo. They go over to his condo, and he says, "I have to go out and get some Jägermeister." And she said, "Well, we really don't need Jägermeister." She goes, "No, I definitely need to go get some Jägermeister." So she says, "Okay, I'm just gonna hang here, right?" Mm-hmm. He leaves. She's sitting there. And what do women usually do when they sit at another man's apartment?
Clean.
They go through things.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine they go through things. I know that if I was dating someone and if I wasn't in a lovely relationship, I wouldn't leave anything hidden or out that they could possibly find if I leave them.
Yeah, you wouldn't leave numbers or magazines or your vast collection of
or Ildo days. You just don't do that, right? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, you don't leave them.
Or no pay.
You just don't.
Most anything battery operated.
You clear your history. You do everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So she said that she's not that type of girl, but she had noticed that there was a yellow slip of paper on the counter. And she said everything in her said not to look, but she had to look.
Makes it tough sometimes.
So she picks it up, and it seems to be some sort of receipt. And I said, "Oh, is it like a phone number? Did somebody you take a piece of paper quickly and write someone's phone number?" That's what I'm like. Oh, it's a phone number. People get phone numbers all the time. No
So it is
big deal.
a thin yellow.
Yes.
We used to call it carbon paper, but it's not anymore. It's a thin yellow receipt.
Yes,
type paper.
exactly. And she said, "Oh, this is interesting." And she just had picked it up because she'd gone in the kitchen to get a drink of water, right?
Want to be hydrated if he's coming on with a bottle of Jaeger.
Yeah, can I just stop for 1 second here?
Okay,
because
stop the music.
It would seem to me to be, that's a That's high octane purchasing right there. If you're going out to get it's one thing, you got some friends coming, want to get a bottle of wine, want to get a 6-pack of beer, want to maybe get some good quality vodka, put it in the freezer so I can make a specialty vodka drink. Jaeger, there's one thing Jaeger's for. Jaeger's for knocking back a shot.
You want to get drunk.
Yeah.
And you want to get drunk.
And you
yes.
know what? I've never felt that I've needed it. I've felt that I've needed whiskey. I felt that I've needed the aforementioned vodka, wine, or beer. But
Right.
Jaeger has always been, let me get a bottle of that while I'm here.
You get it for a party. You might get it for a party.
Maybe for a party, but I'm not sure I'd make a special trip out for that.
For context,
awful green bottle.
they were all going to go to a party together afterwards. He wanted to bring a bottle over, right?
Oh, he did? Okay, very good. Okay.
Seemed like a
Then-
nice
then
guy.
that
Again,
makes
they've been
sense.
dating for 9 months,
I'm
right?
I'm with you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So she
back to the
starts.
story.
She starts reading. She picks up the piece of paper and she starts reading it. And again, it's hard to make out. It's one of the receipt pieces of paper.
Because it's probably like a duplicate receipt, and it's got that light purple lettering on yellow paper.
All right,
right?
too much detail. I want to get to the meat of this story. Jesus.
So she starts realizing that this is a stub from a pawn shop. And she's a pawn shop. Interesting. What could be pawned? Is maybe he pawned maybe an engagement ring?
Sure.
Maybe he had something that he wanted to pick up. Who knows?
Drum set.
Yes.
Drum set, maybe, right? Anything's
Hunting knife.
possible. Hunting knife.
Or,
Who
Mike,
knows?
the worst possible scenario. It's a haunted pawn shop, and he pawned his soul.
So
What did you take? What drugs did you take, Spiewak, today?
she looks further into it and she realizes that, oh, weird. He had pawned a watch. And then she's like, oh, that's too bad. Like, is everything okay? Like, if you really have to pawn a watch, the odds are something may be wrong, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then she realized he had pawned the same watch that she wore, the same type of watch she wore.
Oh, no.
And she starts putting everything together that she had left her watch at his place like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, my.
He had pawned her watch
And replaced it with like a fake?
and replaced it with a fake.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, no.
Bad enough the larceny of stealing her
my
watch, but when you
God.
replace it with a fake,
That's detail.
that is
Oh,
detail.
my God. That's like serious larceny.
Yes.
That's just... Oh, that is... I'm stunned at that. I'm absolutely stunned at that. Oh, my God.
And that's when you know when to walk away.
Yeah, I think
Wow.
so.
Yeah, because
Wow.
at that point, you may even be hesitant to even confront.
The f-
If you're dealing with someone he's committing a crime,
Yes.
Oh, God,
you-
yeah.
you don't
And-
necessarily want to confront somebody committing a crime. They could up the ante. They could double down.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wow. Oh my! So did she have any?
She said that she grabbed everything that she could quickly and just left.
God.
and has he
just
tried
left.
to contact her?
No,
Or-
she said she wrote him a text that said goodbye forever. I'm out. That's it. No explanation.
God.
Done deal.
But I
didn't
guess-
didn't even want one.
I
Didn't even want
guess
a
we
deal.
know how he paid for the Jägermeister, though. Yeah, he got the big
That is
bottle.
just that is
Isn't that
that opens
scary?
up so
That's
many
terrifying.
That opens up so many questions to me as far as what, like, if you're doing that, what would the need for cash? There must be something going on.
But
that
there's
is yeah, it could be drugs.
I would
could
think
be something
drugs.
like
There's
that.
a level of sophistication though to that.
It's like Ocean's 11.
Yeah, that
I
pawn,
mean,
that pawn, right? If that
So,
pawn.
did she talk to you anymore about the crime? Because I'm thinking she had to have left the watch,
She had left the watch because she had slipped over at some point, right?
and then she went about her.
And she
daily,
said,
and
"Hey,
it
I
was
left my
there.
watch over there." And he goes, "Oh, I totally see it. Well, I think I see it." Like he made some like vague. I think I saw it, and then
And
Let me look
meanwhile,
for it,
he-
and I'll see you in a couple of nights.
no weeks. It was been weeks.
Oh, it's been weeks since she saw him.
Yes, weeks.
Oh, and then he slams
And he
down the
pawned
phone,
it.
Mike. He slams down the phone, runs to Eden Center in Falls Church, buys a fake tag, and then pawns the real one.
That is I'm dumbfounded
Right?
by that. I'm absolutely
I
dumbfounded
heard this.
by
I
that.
said, "What else did you leave there and pick up a few weeks later?"
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean that. So it had to be probably a watch that is
Expensive
a high dollar
enough to
watch.
pawn. Yes.
Yeah.
Expensive enough to pawn, and
Yeah.
it probably has to be one of those watches that they make fakes of, which
Yeah.
are either Rolexes or tags or
Right.
something like that. and that the fact that he did this had the stones to do this, and it had to be a perfect duplicate.
Well, there has to be something at play that's either, I think for him, either fear or addiction.
Or game. Like a game for him.
Oh, yeah, he might just be a sociopath.
And how many ladies watches does he have just on standby?
Well, you have to look for a lot of receipts.
Did she have any clue whatsoever that he was this kind of human being?
No, that's the terrifying side of all of this, because I think I'd rather find someone cheating on me than know that they could be as sophisticated and devious as this type of situation, right?
Well, like all great stories, they have a fantastic ending, and Oscar was nice enough to let me write the end of this story.
You know the ending, yes.
I know the ending of this story because, now we're going to reveal it so it doesn't happen to anybody else. The person's name was Rob Ford.
It's the Michael Mara Show. You can listen to the Michael Mara Show at www.mikeomarashow.com.
Stay tuned for an outstanding entertainment program.
It's the Michael Mara Show.
Let's get down to business.
From the entertainment capital of the world.
I'm trying to understand how life works, and I've learnt this. You have to date people that you really like. It can't just be physical, because if it is, it's doomed. Because men are bipolar when it comes to sex. Pre and post-sex, we are two different people. Pre-sex, very enthusiastic. Yes, I agree with that. Ha, 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 that's so funny. Just the lies, the deception. Oh, I hear myself talking to women. I'm like, shut up. Oh. And it's all for what? Just to get laid. But the second that you climax, you're like, what have I done? It's like a murder. There's a naked body here. How do I get rid of it?
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. Mike O'Mara, Rob Spiewak, Oscar Santana. And now, from his office chair, here's Mike.
A lot of great comedy coming out of Australia. Which guy is that?
I believe his name is James Smith, if that is indeed his real name.
Really? Because there's another guy that does the thing on gun control. It's about the funniest
stuff,
thing I've ever heard. Welcome. Coming to you live from the Cappy Piper studio in the heart of our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. This is the Mike O'Mara Show. On the air and online worldwide, the Mike O'Mara Show is a daily radio show and podcast with the greatest listeners on the planet because they get it. If you're here, you do too. Well, it's out there. It's there for your consumption. I'll be honest with you. People are raving about it.
Yes.
It's Open Mike, the audiobook. You're going to love it. Listen to the story of the Mike O'Mara Show as read by all of us, the authors. Mike, Rob, Oscar, in our own words, the entire book, and then some. You got a clip today?
I do, and Mike does so many great voices on the audiobook. I was allowed to do one extra voice. I was allowed to be Mike. I was allowed to be Steve Bridges.
Steve Bridges.
And
That's right.
Here's another moment that I think you all will care for.
Mike has been part of my radio station for over 18 years. I didn't like the period of time between the end of TMOS and the beginning of the podcast. I didn't like it that Mike wasn't a part of our station. We had Rob, but we really missed the other guys. Thank you, pal.
Hey, you can get it now. It's great in the car, at home, on the beach, all summer long. Download the fun because fun's the best thing to have. Only $6.99 and now available. Download it instantly on iTunes or at MikeO'MaraShow.com, Google Play, Amazon. You can get it there, and you're going to love it. It's a brand new TMOS experience. Open Mike, the audiobook, and get it today. And thank you for the incredible feedback on the audiobook. We truly we appreciate that. I love getting all that information from people. Welcome to the Mike O'Mara Show. I am here to say that I'm not apologizing anymore. I am not going to apologize
I'm
for
sorry
anything.
to hear that.
No, I'm not going to apologize ever. That's the new playbook. That's the way they all do it. They all do. I was watching Governor Mike Huckabee on the Today Show this morning. Huck Micabee was I don't know what the huck he was doing, but what a hucker. What an incredible
Yes.
hucker this guy
Yeah,
is.
I
And,
agree.
you know, he has made some comments about the Iran deal that the United States has entered into with Iran about the nuclear containment. And he was saying that he's basically, this is walking the Israelis to, or the Jewish people to the oven door when he was
Right.
making a Holocaust
Oh,
reference.
Jesus.
And he won't back down. He won't say that. Here's the thing. He's saying that he believes that Iran is that kind of threat to the Israeli people. And I don't, for a second, want to dispute that because I have no idea what the ultimate motivations of that government are. But at the same time, it was documented that this offended a lot of Jewish people because you're referencing the Holocaust to make a political statement. And so people were offended by that. And he didn't apologize, just like, Trump doesn't apologize because they're all seeing now that when you're a child, like Donald Trump, when you are infantile and you choose not to apologize for anything you say, then people in a certain segment of Americana think you're strong.
Right.
And, I like to think that when you apologize, in many cases, it shows that you are the bigger person. And what is the bigger person but the stronger person? But
Right.
that is now, in the age of political lack of total civility, that is now becoming forgotten. And if you don't apologize, you say something that is offensive to people, and you come on and you don't apologize, then you are going to go up in the polls because everybody's going to think you're a big, strong, tough guy.
But it's
and I think
two-tiered,
it's the
Mike.
dumbest thing I've
It's
ever heard in
also
my life.
two-tiered because now what you have to do is you have to first go out and say something unabashedly nutty, crazy, outrageous.
Yeah, you have to say something that's going to be offensive to a large group of
and
people.
then don't apologize.
Then
see?
you back off.
That's
like
what you do.
You say a war hero is not a war hero. You offend all the veterans, especially the ones that served in that conflict.
Right.
And then you don't apologize, and people say, oh, aren't you incredibly super strong? Here it is. We work in a business where apologies are part of the deal. And, I have always had kind of a measuring stick that if I've personally offended someone and I thought what I said in retrospect was over the line, I have no problem whatsoever apologizing for it. I also have stood my ground a couple of times when I felt that the offense was so narrow and so personal that the person was out of line that was requesting the apology.
Sure.
But I would say, I don't know how you guys feel about, more often than not, would you feel that you apologize as opposed to like digging your heels in and making a situation that's really no skin off your ass a little bit worse by not apologizing? I don't know how you guys feel.
Well, we're in a situation where we are forced to talk scriptless, off the cuff, for quite a long time every day.
I've apologized. And when you make a mistake, you make a mistake.
You make mistakes.
It's
Mistakes
a numbers
happen.
game.
Yeah.
We talk.
Well,
When we used to talk for 5 hours a day, God forbid you said something that wasn't appropriate. And it wasn't. Now, I'm not talking about politically correct. I'm talking about
Just
you said
offensive to
something
somebody.
that offended somebody. That
Yeah.
was bound to happen.
Of course.
bound to
Absolutely. And it goes in. I always say to people, I say this, that we work without a net, and we also work at a very, very fast pace. And everybody, no matter what the subject matter, it can be very heavy. We're usually trying to throw in a zinger or two to make people entertained. That's what we do. So it's going to happen. So it really, to me, is. I understand. You go back. I don't want a Jane Austen novel for my political leaders. I don't want that. But I also see that it is really starting to go down a road that you can now say anything. And let me tell you something,
so
folks.
much fun, Mike, though.
It's fun to watch.
Yes.
It's fun to watch. Well, it's fun to
As
watch
long as
Donald
we
Trump.
don't
I'll give you
accept
that.
it.
It's fun to watch Donald Trump.
But even like Huckabee with the chainsaw and all these guys.
Well, that was
Lindsey Graham.
See,
that
that's
was
how much-
Lindsey. that was Rand Paul.
Rand Paul. See, we don't know.
Oh, I'm
we
sorry.
don't
No,
know.
but Lindsey Graham did destroy his cell phone.
He
various
destroyed
ways.
his cell
So
phone
forgive
with a
me,
lighter
yeah.
fluid and a golf
All
club.
these asshats.
Right.
Trying to be off the cuff and
It is a clown college.
avant-garde
It is.
and
a clown
go
college.
viral. I sit
Right.
there and I'm like, just be yourself. But if they weren't doing this, we wouldn't be talking about them.
It's true, and there is more attention now on the political arena than there ever has been at this stage of the game.
Sure.
There's never been this kind of attention at this stage of the game. What I worry about, though, is just to hear me out here. If you give perpetual liars carte blanche and say you're going to be able to lie like the dogs you are, but this time you can lie, and you don't even have to worry about it being true. And then you're never going to have to apologize. Then you're going to be screwed, because nothing that ever comes out of their mouths is going to be true or even remotely factually based. And I think that's terrifying.
And one thing here that is play is that, you talk about what we do versus what they do.
Yes.
What we do is pretty real. We talk about our stuff, our lives, and it's real. And if, we step over the line, we apologize. When he does these statements about that are offensive to the segments of the Jewish population,
it's rhetoric is what it is.
It's rhetoric, but it's also
it's offensive rhetoric.
I feel that it is manufactured with the defense already in line. So if he is going to go out and say something offensive that accidentally happens, somehow to me that is less offensive than if he does something, because he comes in today and he's being held to the fire and he says, are you going to talk like this if you are president? He says, well, let me tell you, I've been to Auschwitz 3 times. Well, that's not an answer.
Guys,
but
no,
what that is, that's a manufactured reply to what he knew he was going to get called on.
Everybody is offended by something. I mean, that happens. It's going to happen. But let me just put a little perspective. I happen to, and I mean just happen to, not 48 hours ago, watch A Day at Auschwitz. I don't know if you've seen this documentary, but this was a child survivor who takes, I believe, her granddaughter and maybe 2 granddaughters, or her granddaughter and a friend, and she goes through the absolute detail of what life was. And as I was watching that, I thought one thing: these people that do the white supremacy stuff, that are running around with that
bit,
I don't believe that there is enough of a realization of that horror show in people's minds.
I agree.
And Mike Huckabee may have visited Auschwitz many times. I have not. But when I watched this, this young girl was 16 years old, and she got the cherry gig at the camp. And you know what that cherry gig was? That cherry gig was managing the one-holer latrines at Auschwitz. And I couldn't count the number of concrete holes that were sitting in a row that had to be, get this, had to be shared by multiple people, because they only had a particular amount of time to use the latrines. And then it was her job, with her hands, to empty out the latrines. And you know what she said? She said it was the great gig because you were, out of mind and out of sight, because none of the guards wanted to come by the latrines.
Right. And
you stayed warm in the winter because you were indoors. Can you get your head around that horror?
But Mike,
and then,
the guys that are talking about it, look, we don't have to double down and explain to people how horrible Auschwitz was.
I think the reason, let me tell you why I'm doing that. I'm doing that because I think when you say the oven and you use it, I'm not offended by the fact.
He's absolutely wrong. Now, who's saying that he's not wrong?
But
most
the thing,
people on the air and on the web are saying he's wrong.
He's wrong regardless of his point being correct, that he's saying that Iran, that making a deal with Iran will result in the potential devastation of the Israeli people and the Jewish people, and that's so that's the argument he's making. I'm not arguing that. I'm not prepared to argue that. I don't know what the real motivations of Iran, but I'm talking about using the rhetoric that he's using.
He's absolutely wrong.
That's the point I'm trying to make here.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, and the only reason I'm saying that is because if a guy's not going to apologize, I think there has to be some analysis out there from some quarter to say, this is why there's a segment of the population that is offended by what you said. Because when you use it in a political statement, you diminish the memory and the horror of what happened. That's the only point.
It's irreverent. It's absolutely irreverent, and also it pushes us further away from understanding the gravity of the situation in that time.
Yeah, I think you diminish it.
If Trump gets headway and win to his sails for dismissing an entire country and its people coming over the border,
right?
Then what's to stop anybody else from doing that?
And you made my point.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right, because you know what?
He's trying to play catch up.
And they're all, because they're political people, they're all going to see that the wind you mentioned is blowing a certain way.
Yeah.
And hey, if Trump gets away, look at him in the poll numbers. He's being a complete and total a-hole with no facts to back up what he's saying. And look at his poll numbers.
Right.
So I might as well do the same thing. So we'll see what happens because, there's one thing I know. You cannot predict the politics of the future. You don't know what's going to happen. Anything can happen. Haven't we had that demonstrated to us? We get a landslide president elected, and then there's a big break-in, and he resigns. Could anybody have ever seen that happening? No. You never know what's going to happen.
Liddy.
Liddy. The Veendom.
I watched the ants. I knew the resignation was going to happen.
I'm trying. I'm out there.
Coming.
I'm on the water, and right up here, Bar Harbor. They bring these cruise ships into Bar Harbor up here all the time. And one that is a regular is the Veendom.
Yes.
And I start laughing on the water. I'm laughing, and no one around me, my sister, my brother-in-law, nobody can pick up why I'm wanting to see the Veendom. And I actually call Rob at sea, and I say, Rob, I'm going by a cruise ship. You'll never guess what it is. And Rob says immediately, of course I can. It's the Veendom. And the whole reason for that, no, don't play the music.
Okay.
And the whole reason for that is that the Veendom was the cruise ship where Gordon Liddy had a listener party on the cruise, or
He would cruise
on
with
a
listeners,
cruise.
and you'll be guaranteed 2 talks with me. I will speak to you. We will have a cocktail reception. And when we finally saw the Veendom, Mike, it looks like a piece of crap. It's
big.
the ugliest boat you've ever seen.
It's a big, ugly boat. It's a big look. It's a cruise ship, so hey, it's a cruise ship. And he was on a cruise ship. But the thing that got that put on the map is that on the Veendom, we believe it was taken on the Veendom.
Yes.
Gordon Liddy has a picture taken in a red, white, and blue American flag Speedo with his shirt off. And I swear to God, I don't know if it's real or fake, but his Schwanstucker almost went down to the floor. And we put that picture of Gordon Liddy up, and I don't know where it lingered, on a bulletin board somewhere for months. And it was Gordon Liddy on the Veendom. And so whenever I see that ship, I can't stop laughing. You know?
It's good. And you know what? I think the fact that you let that picture leak out and linger, it's the reason why you gentlemen got along so well.
Now you can play the music. Anyway, well, we didn't solve any of the world's problems, but hey, the Clown College is continuing,
yes.
And let's see if more fun and more thrills ensue. We'll have to wait and see. We'll take a break, come back with more right here on the Mike O'Mara Show.
It's Tony and Gary.
Hey, I'm Tony Perkins.
Hey, I'm Gary Stein.
And on this week's episode of the Tony Perkins Show featuring Gary Stein.
I don't know if you remember on Good Morning America, there was a young singer who became very famous, and one of her flunkies came out of the dressing room and said she does not drink Poland water, she drinks Dasani, and there's Poland water in the dressing room, she's not going to sing. So I went to the prop man and I said, listen, you're not going to believe what's going on. He literally went out at 5:30 in the morning and he bought a case of Dasani, and then we said, we hope we never have her back.
What does her name rhyme with?
I can give you the initials, I believe.
You do it, I'll tell you if it's right.
A.L.
Yes.
We won't say her name now.
I think she got some bad advice from the skater boy.
The Tony Perkins Show.
A.L.
Yeah.
It's a lady, it's a singer?
Yes.
Yeah, Avril Lavigne.
Oh,
he's not gonna get that.
You are a regular Jessica Fletcher.
Yeah.
Would that have been Good Morning America back when Tony was doing? Would it have been
she's
Avril
around
Lavigne?
forever.
Yeah, because she started when she was like 16, right?
Yeah.
So they were. I love it. Thanks, boys. All right. Anyway, welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. I couldn't have gone on until I got it. Blinds.com. That's our sponsor this segment. Summer is here. Time for sun and fun. And watching it today, a massive. I mean, most of the United States. Really going to be going through some of the hottest temperatures of the year. A legitimate heat wave for 3, 4, 5, maybe even more than 7 days. It's time to deal with a hot home and the summertime glare. The people to help you with this, Blinds.com. If you're dealing with a room that turns into it turns you into a roaster chicken, Blinds.com can help you. You can beat the summer heat. They've been helping folks for over 25 years. I use these things called cellular shades, and I got them from Blinds.com. And the thing that's great is they can cover a very large window, and they can do so lightweight. And they're very, very sun-blocking, and they're very, very lightweight at the same time, so they're terrific. And my Blinds.com consultant helped me with it, and they can help you too. They've got it all, including free color samples, free shipping, and prices that crush store prices. You can do it yourself, or you can get somebody to help you with it. They do it all at Blinds.com, and their prices are great. Go to Blinds.com today. Start enjoying your home and your patio with the without the annoying heat and glare. You'll see easy in a whole new light with FloridaBlinds.com, as seen in my Florida home. And believe me, those cellular shades do cool the room. I love that. Welcome back to the show. You want to talk about the kids at sea, or do you want to? We got kind of heavy in the first segment, or do you want to talk about Rob Spiewak's infatuation with death?
Let's do death.
Yes.
I like that our show, when we want to lighten it up, we talk about death.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Rob, I think
today.
would it be safe to say that our listeners are aware of the fact that when it comes to anybody you love more than anything else playing that. We will pass this way again.
Oh, when we do the tribute, the Jerry tribute? Yeah.
Oh, God, the king of schmaltz. The other day, now Rob has resorted when celebrities aren't doing their job, elderly celebrities, and kicking on a regular basis.
Yes.
Rob actually has to go to celebrity
I
death anniversary.
This world but once.
Any good therefore
that I can do, or any kindness that I can show to any human being.
Okay.
Let me do it now.
Yes, I know.
Let me not defer or neglect it.
Okay, all right, shut up.
For
George,
I
shut
shall
up.
not pass
this way again.
I have something to ask you.
Yeah.
When the time comes, inevitably, that
Yes.
Your mentor, Jerry Lewis, passes,
Yes.
will you retire that particular clip? Because
No,
those are
I will
his words?
actually put more import on it because it is how Jerry has lived his life. And
Yes.
I think, Mike, letting you not defer any kindness. You pass this way but once. It's important. So I think it's a very important tape that we live on. Not many other podcasts are playing it.
Yeah, weird. I'd say that's a lock. That is a lock. So the other day on Facebook, Rob puts a picture of Bob Hope up and says that it was 12 years. So this is not even. These are not even significant anniversaries.
No, it wasn't really a milestone, was it?
12 years ago, Bob Hope died. I'm like, that is grasping. And he posted on my page.
Well, I thought you would
it's
enjoy
just
it.
like, and I mean, I certainly early on in my career, I realized that most of my impressions were going to end up in heaven sooner than later. And I started just doing the heaven hotline because that was the only way I could still do my material and get away with it. And we had like that's where the whole angel things came in. And it was like,
Well, I want to tell you, hey, this is Bob for Texaco Hope. I'm up here in heaven because I'm dead and I got my golf club.
so I mean, it was like and that's why I did that. You, on the other hand, you love this.
I
Celebrity
happened on
death.
it, and
have
you know
to
what?
get
And it made me look up Bob, and I said I should post a picture, and I was amazed that I had several stock pictures already in my photos. I could just choose from them of Bob Hope, and I chose what I thought was a good one. You see, Bob Hope for me, when I put you and Bob Hope together, Mike, is always special because you do so many different eras of Bob. And I remember when Bob was about 100 and he was doing the Kmart special commercial.
And when Bob got to be on in years, Bob would have what, unfortunately, and I pray it doesn't happen to me. I'm blessed because this is right around the time when it starts to happen, where
the mouth doesn't meet the words very much. You kind of.
And so Bob was doing that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Hope.
If you stay in the game too long, that's what happens.
Yes.
And as soon as that happens to me, you can, the boat is sailing. I'm going.
Thank you very much, boys. Mike and Mary Show, taking a little
Well,
retirement
can we
now.
do like a special like they did towards the end of Bob's life when they filmed it in his house and he was just propped up on a couch?
Do you have Bob's introduction of the AP All-America football
I
team?
believe I should have that.
Because
Give me one
Bob
sec,
is this is Bob at his schmaltzy best, where
One of my
on his
favorites.
specials, I always feel like I'm telling Oscar this story. Oscar, back in the day when television had rabbit ears,
I've never seen a Bob Hope special.
the Bob Hope specials would be would it be Christmas time that they'd bring them out?
Many times a year. I mean, he would do Christmas, and then there would be several. There would be the like throughout the year. I know that he would travel. We recently played the promo for Bob Hope Down Under when he did the Australia special.
Wait, I have a question. Actually, Noel, if you don't mind, you're what, 22?
Yep, 22.
Do you know who Bob Hope is?
No.
Oh.
Don't even know who he is.
Wait, you don't. Get her on. God damn it, get her on
I don't
camera.
know who a lot of people are.
Pony, switch Noel, please, if you don't mind. Noel, you go over where Pony is.
All right.
Because this should be interesting.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know who Bob Hope is, and I barely know who Bob Hope is, that means that we are trending.
That means that we're playing to our audience right now.
That's right. Exactly right.
Yeah.
We're trending in the upper demos. That's for sure.
Narrow
I'm going
casting.
through. So you have no idea who Bob Hope is, right? Is that true? Like,
But a pony goes and sits down and expecting her to know how to do everything, and she's got no headphones.
know how to use headphones.
Well, they're on the other side of the room.
That was almost a finger-breaking snap.
That
I
was
heard
pretty
came
impressive.
through
I was
at the
very
same time.
impressed, yeah.
Rob, I'll ask you a question. Do you know who Jeffrey Lewis is?
Jeffrey Lewis is,
Jeffrey Lewis.
I believe he is a modern athlete.
No, that is incorrect.
Carl Lewis.
No.
Oh, okay, very good. Yeah,
No,
From the
it
80s.
is wrong. No.
Jeffrey Lewis, singer.
The seasoned actor and father of actress Juliette Lewis passed away on April 7th. He was 79, and he is an actor, and you would know his face if you saw him, but he's one of those character actors that was in a lot of different movies, and he was in Clint Eastwood movies in the late 60s. I'm talking about people that we have lost recently.
You know that my father actually was attributed. A lot of times when we talk about people on the show, they die within days.
Yes.
And my father posted "Happy birthday" to Michael Jackson father Joe Jackson, who and his comment was "handsome gent." And put up a lovely picture of him. And that day,
So your father, so you might get this infatuation with celebrity death from your dad.
But the magic is that the day he posted the photograph, Joe Jackson had 3 strokes.
3 strokes.
Which is,
see,
Mike,
that's
by
not
estimation, estimation, too many.
That's not good.
No,
That's
it's not.
good.
So
Do you- yes.
I'm not proud of this power I have.
Well, it's a generational thing, clearly.
Well, I think so.
Families.
Yeah.
Well, people actually blame Rob Spiewak for celebrity deaths. Like Rob will talk about a celebrity, and then they'll kick like within 24
For
hours.
perspective, do you know who Joe Jackson is, Noel? Is that a no?
I mean, not specifically.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Do you know who
Well,
Michael
that would be a
Jackson
no.
I mean,
then,
yeah,
right?
I was gonna assume it's one of the Jackson 5, but like,
Well,
hey,
he's
that's
not.
close.
He's not one of the Jackson 5.
No,
He's an
no.
outlier. He's the abusive father that put the band together.
okay.
He would
This
hit
is an
them
educational
really,
segment.
really hard, and then they'd make great records.
Say, I write down a highlight, and there is so little planning that goes into what direction this is going to go in. I have no
what
idea.
he did is, because I've seen the documentaries, and you
Yes,
know
he
who
was playing. Here's another person you won't know.
Yeah.
Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, who played Freddie Boom Boom Washington on Welcome Back, Kotter. He played Joe Jackson in Jackson's The American Dream.
Yes.
Which is a great film that VH1 shows all the time.
So Joe Jackson used to beat the Jacksons so much that they sang their little hearts out.
Yes. They wanted to impress Pa. They wanted to
Oscar's-
impress Pa.
I like Oscar's explanation of that.
Well, and you know
Bob
what?
Hope.
Would they,
let me hold on. I want to explain to Noel who Bob Hope was.
Okay.
Noel, Bob Hope is an iconic celebrity. He was probably the biggest comedy star of his generation.
Mm-hmm.
He was he worked with Bing Crosby with a series of major feature-length motion pictures that were incredibly popular. And then for years and years and years, I think maybe 3 decades at least, Bob Hope was a TV superstar who had a
Higher than
series
that.
of 4 decades.
Well, he started in radio in the 30s. And
But I'm talking about, I know you know the history. I'm saying how long he was a mega network television
I
star.
would
It was
say
probably 30 years.
I would say closer to 40. And remember, Mike,
40
also,
years, okay.
he sort of invented hosting the Oscars, too.
Okay, so yeah, so and
Big
he
deal.
hosted
He
the
was a big
Academy
deal.
Awards,
White guy.
and so he was super. He was white guy. Thank you, Oscar. That's right, white guy. And so that's who Bob Hope was, and you should Google him when you get a chance because he was that big a star. I mean, really, we could mention old timey people from the past that you would have no idea, and it wouldn't be that big a deal. But Bob Hope is kind of
Someone you should
iconic.
know.
You know what? You might remember he was on. He had a clip on The Simpsons.
And now, let's give a big Fort Springfield welcome to Mr. Bob Hope.
What's the mayor's name?
Wimby.
Beautiful.
And that was his theme song.
Hello,
His
this is
theme
Bob.
song
What the
was
hell am I
Thanks for
doing
the
in
Memories.
Springfield
Okay,
Home?
enough of that. I don't want to
Hey,
hear your
how
Simpsons
about
clip.
that
I don't want to hear
Mayor
your Simpsons clip. Jesus Christ. He saves it. He hoards it like it's just material. Do you listen to that like on your free time or something
It
like
comes
that?
up on the iPod sometimes. Sure, why not?
All right, very good. Rob, do you know who James Best is?
James Best played Roscoe P. Coltrane on the Dukes of Hazzard. Change that car. That is not an acceptable flag. He also played a rock and roll singer on an episode of Andy Griffith.
There it is. Okay, so very, very good. Let me ask now. I'm going to go over to Noel. Noel, do you know who Mario Cuomo was?
No idea.
He is the famed former governor of New York. I probably don't expect her.
That's
to
an
know
outlier.
That
I almost didn't know that.
You should know that, though.
Died this year at 82. These are celebrities we've lost.
That's
in,
a decent run.
2015.
82.
Not bad. I'd take it.
Yes. All right. Well, Rob, you're going to get this.
All right.
I know this because no one else in the room will. I'll ask Oscar. Oscar, do you know who Donna Douglas is?
Donna Douglas.
Donna Douglas, Oscar Santana. Do you know who Donna
famous
Douglas is?
pinup girl?
No, and I'm going to tell you, though. She was a blonde on a famous TV comedy.
Exactly.
That ran for
Three's Company.
No, that is incorrect.
Sorry.
Rob, would you like to tell him who Donna Douglas is?
Yeah, she played Ellie Mae on the Beverly
Ellie Mae
Hillbillies.
Clampett, Oscar. Do you know the Beverly Hillbillies?
I do, absolutely.
And
Ellie
also,
Mae
she
Clampett.
co-starred with Elvis in Frankie and Johnny, and he never boned her.
Thank you, Rob.
And now you know.
Good.
Shut up, Bonnie.
Do you think? I'll just mention this one since we're not going to have the Q&A because nobody's going to get Percy Sledge. But Percy Sledge, we've lost Percy. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Did you miss that one? Is there one that you missed?
I forgot that he died when a man loves a woman. Great one-hit wonder. You would think with a voice like that he would have had more hit records, but no such luck.
Here's a tragic one, and somebody we kind of butted heads with, but it was a tragedy. Noel, do you know who Stuart Scott is?
No.
Oh, you should know Stuart Scott.
Stuart Scott was an ESPN anchor, and he was the guy that said "booyah," and he passed away. So
yeah, if you saw him, I think you would know him.
Yes,
he's been on TV enough. That was a sad. That was actually something that really affected all of us. Yeah.
Rob Spiewak, do you know Rod Taylor?
Rod Taylor, the actor, yeah, the Time Machine, and also the Birds, and also my dad's mother had a crush on Rod Taylor.
This is an 84-year-old Rob.
My
knew
dad's
everything
mother had a
possible.
crush on Rod
There you
And
go.
why shouldn't he? Good-looking guy.
Very good.
Save Bodega Bay from the
I don't
Birds.
think we need to go around the room for Samuel Goldwyn Jr., do we?
Who was his father again?
Yes, thank you. Metro Goldwyn Mayer. Thank you. All right, moving. Here's one. This is one that's kind of interesting. Mr. Pizza Guy.
Little Caesar?
Yeah.
Mr. Pizza Guy. No. Taylor Negron.
Oh, that's right.
Taylor Negron passed away at 57, had cancer, unfortunately. And he was Mr. Pizza Guy in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. The guy that stands at the door when Spicoli is going to get his pizza.
That guy was iconic. He was in multiple films.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Bob Hope's nothing, but this guy, absolutely.
Everyone knows Taylor Negron. I was Facebook friends with him, had to unfriend him after the passing.
Right. I'm not
Make
gonna mention
room?
that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Anita Ekberg, you don't need to know that.
Hey, but I bet you did a few Bob Hope specials.
Yeah. Okay. Oscar Santana, this one's for you.
Yes.
The song is "It's My Party" and "I'll Cry If I Want to." Can you name the artist who passed away at 68 this year?
Oh, jeez. I know the song. I've heard it. I've heard the remakes.
That's true. Amy Winehouse did it before she passed.
I don't know, Mike. I don't know the artist. I'm not even.
What is something you see a lot of in a horror movie, Oscar Santana?
Screams.
Nudity.
No, it's gore. It was Leslie Gore that passed away, unfortunately. Okay, we got time for just a couple more here. All right, there it is.
I know the song. I've heard it.
Rob, are you enjoying this segment as much as I hoped you would?
This is like Christmas Day.
Very good. Okay, that's wonderful. And now I've got one for you, Noel. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, Noel, you're batting 0.00.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Mike, if she doesn't get an answer soon, you may want to check the obits for her.
Okay. Now, although this television star really was on primetime, or was these shows were made many, many decades ago, this franchise was iconic. And so I will ask you this. Most of our listeners know the answers to this. Do you know who Leonard Nimoy is, Noel?
I don't know who anyone is.
Think about.
Did you just say you don't know who anyone is?
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
All right. I think you're going to fit right in here. I really do. Do you know Spock from the Star Trek movies?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, Leonard Nimoy is the original. Do you? Leonard Nimoy is the original Spock, Noel.
Poor Noel.
I'm not trying to. I'm really not trying to embarrass her.
How about this? Do you know who drums for the
educate her.
Disco Biscuits?
You can just make it up.
Yeah, you can just make it up.
Are you good with names? I'm not very good with names.
No, I'm horrible with names. I just don't care.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Wow.
That's the pot.
Yeah.
That's the pot. That's the part.
Nailed it.
That's right.
You
I
nailed it,
just
Mike.
don't care. Okay. All right. That'll get you to the executive tower, sweetie. Anyway, Noel, thank you for that
Thank
segment.
you.
That was wonderful.
Very sweet of you.
Loved it. And
Did you
also,
say you're welcome?
Thank you.
I think she's not used to the ball busting yet, Mike.
Yeah, a
I'm
little
not-
bounce.
Oh, really?
I
Okay.
think,
All right,
she'll
okay.
get it as we continue.
Okay. All right. Then let me say a resounding MTC. More to come. We will take a break and come back with more fun and more thrills on the Mike O'Mara Show. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. Buying and selling a house, probably one of the biggest decisions you're ever going to make in your lifetime. I've told you about this, and you're responding to it, and I think it's wonderful because people realize that the best way to get a realtor is to get the statistics. I want to tell you all about HomeLight. HomeLight, the best new way to find your perfect real estate agent. HomeLight's technology analyzes home sales data and client reviews to find the best agent for you based on actual past performance. Whether buying or selling, you need HomeLight. HomeLight was founded by Stanford grads and is backed by Google. HomeLight agents are all top 5% producers and are proven to sell faster and for up to a 9% higher selling price. They are experts in marketing and prepping your home for sale. Plus, they're honest, professional, and reliable. Smart people started this company. You'll love them. HomeLight has already helped thousands of folks in D.C. and all over the USA buy and sell their homes. Best of all, HomeLight is absolutely free for our listeners, and you get a $200 gift card when you buy or sell with a HomeLight agent. Visit homelight.com today. That's HOMELIGHT.com. Click the microphone in the right-hand corner and enter with the promo code TMOS to contact your perfect agent through the HomeLight website, or you can call them 844-321-AGENT and tell them that Mike sent you. Homelight.com, the best way to find a real estate agent. Well, that was interesting. And, it also told me that kind of so far in 2015, now I know why you're going back 12 years with Bob Hope, because it really hasn't been like the year of James Gandolfini when we just seemed like every week
Mike,
to be
hopefully
losing
the
a
year
celebrity.
can bounce back and we get some better depth.
That is
and while you were reading that
absolutely
HomeLight
terrible.
spot, Mike, I took a moment and I've sent it from the show. I sent some flowers to the Widow Negron. So
Okay, thank you.
I think
I
that
appreciate
it's
that.
about time.
Very kind.
Yeah,
Mike,
that's very good.
briefly, as time passes, we mentioned this yesterday. I saw Ant-Man, so we didn't talk about that before the
Oh,
show.
yeah.
All right, and that
Paul
gets
Rudd.
me to this whole thing where I got to ask you guys, so far or something that's on the horizon, I know you pay attention to it, Oscar, it's a big deal for me to hop in a car, drive 45 minutes to an hour to just see a movie. When movie theaters are everywhere in America,
Right.
they're not up here.
No.
So my question is, you went to see Ant-Man. Neither one of you guys, Ant-Man. You haven't seen the Amy Schumer movie.
Schumer
yet.
movie,
no.
Nobody's going to that.
Well,
it's
people
weird.
are going.
People are going. It's hanging in the top 5
Yeah.
still, but it's not the blockbuster I foresaw.
Yeah, but you were the biggest fan out of all of us. What stopped you from going?
Well, don't do
Laziness.
things. Yeah, that's it.
Seriously, he doesn't want to get up and get out of his house. I mean, what is this, a bulletin? This isn't a bulletin.
No.
He doesn't want to get up
However,
and go
2
out.
tickets, $24 isn't going to change the fact of where it's going.
I know, but
Do you think the Schumer target audience is a lazy person?
no,
And that's the problem? Maybe
no.
she caters to the lazy.
But Rob, be honest with me.
Yeah.
If anybody was going to go see it, you were the one that was hot on Amy Schumer before anybody else in this room.
It's true. That is
Right?
true, yeah.
So I figured you would have seen it because it's a comedy up your alley. You love funny women.
Sure.
and
She turns you
really-
on, right, Rob? You've said that.
Yeah,
right?
there's
She turns you on a little
an
bit.
aspect of her that I find quite alluring.
Right.
It didn't come out of the gates the way I thought it was going to. It's getting
But
great reviews.
can I say
Yes.
something though? I think Rob didn't go see it, and that's why a lot of people. I was kind of like, for the buzz was so intense for her leading up to it, and then when push comes to shove, that's what movies are all about. Movies that are blockbusters are movies you feel you have to see. Jurassic World would be one that I think got a buzz, and if
Even
the
I
theater
saw
had been
that,
close,
yeah.
I would have gone to see that, and that's still probably on my list. Before it's out of theaters to see that, but I don't know. So
And you know
went
what?
to-
When you talk blockbuster, that is something else. The venue. You know what? Jurassic World on your television, no matter how great your surround is, no matter how big your screen
Worth
is,
going to the theater.
it's worth going to a theater to see that. The Schumer movie is going to play just fine on your bedroom TV. And
Yeah.
that,
And
that
my daughter
takes
saw
the urgency
three.
away.
My daughter saw Jurassic World 3 times, by the way.
And she loved
went
it,
to see
obviously.
She
That good movie.
absolutely loved it. You saw Ant-Man, and you saw that when?
I saw that this past weekend, and I wanted to see it. I had some bad experiences going to the theater in the middle of like a Sunday afternoon, so I go now exclusively to the 10:45 p.m. showings on Sunday night.
Okay.
And there is nobody in there, thank God. And it is the most quiet, calm movie going experience in the city because you don't have that many people in there. You know who I think goes there? Athletes. There's like a lot of tall guys in there. I'm like, you probably play for the Wizards. I just don't realize that right now.
And when they see Oscar, they're saying the same thing.
No, I go,
Absolutely.
Look, you know who
Gifted
goes there?
athletes.
There's nothing creepier than
Now, for me, it's another superhero movie. God, I can't stand
you
any
could
more
say
superheroes.
that if you saw all the superhero movies, but you haven't been
I
to a
don't
theater
go
in
see
forever.
superhero movies.
Question.
You don't know if it's the same
And
one.
I don't watch the Daredevil thing you wanted me to watch. I hate that. I want to watch.
Paul Rudd is a very, very funny man. And I think a
Yes.
lot of times his acting, his personality is bigger than the script. I think he saved, was it the movie This Is 40?
Yes.
I thought he was so funny in that. And
He was great. He's been great in a lot of movies. though.
Funny and
He was
friendly.
Clueless.
But, that's right. He was the big brother in Clueless. Is he good enough to make this bigger than a superhero movie enough for Mike?
Well,
Because I know there's special
There's not a
effects at play.
superhero movie enough for me. I'll tell you
It's-
something.
how about
What's the
it's-
biggest one? We went to Spider-Man, Rob, in New York City together. Remember that? That was
You couldn't
and
have
it's-
come up with a better movie-going experience. We left Spider-Man into Times Square where the movie was set. I mean, it was an ultimate experience.
And that was, you know what? Rob liked it, and I liked it, but for me, ultimately, the movie was just okay because it's superhero. I don't like superhero. I don't like comic books. I don't like superhero movies. I mean, we have had since I was 30 years old. We have had 26 years of Batman, Superman,
You don't like
Spider-Man,
Batman?
At-Man, Stretch
How are we
Man,
friends?
Ball Man, Testicle Man. I mean, for God's sake, it's just relentless.
Testicle Man is not in theaters. It's just on
Testicle
your
Man.
laptop.
And by the way,
Who
Testicle
will give him the sack?
Testicle Man had a sidekick, didn't he?
Yeah, Sexboy.
Oh, Sexboy, of course.
Sexboy.
Oh no! It's been a while. It has been a while since he showed up. Hey, look who's here!
Did somebody mention my name?
Hey, Sexboy!
I was just wondering if somebody was mentioning my name. I'm just curious. Can you hear this okay? Can you hear me? Oh, no, yeah.
great.
Am I coming through loud and clear? Sex Boy!
We can.
It's Sex Boy. Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than all the uranium enriched in the world. It is I,
Sexboy.
Sex Boy.
Now, there may be people who have joined us since your last appearance. Let us explain.
Hello, Rob.
I didn't realize that you were a sidekick to Testicle Man, but this is obviously you're
Well, it was early in my career.
Solo
I no longer associate with him.
Now, how old are you again?
Situation got a little sticky. It was not fun. Not fun at all.
So how old
thank
are you again?
Sex Boy. 9 years old.
Oh, I thought it was 12.
Oh, no.
Well, okay, 12. If you want to make it 12, I'll be friggin' 12. Does that float your boat?
And what do you do?
All right. I travel the world making sure people have better sex. Sex Boy, providing people with all sorts of advice, marital aids, and a decent pet talk. Hop into the sack, America. It's sex time. Sex Boy. That's right. Just look for me. I've got the giant green cape with the S on the front. Sex Boy. And of course, I've got all the superhero powers as well. And being a 12-year-old, I don't sound like a 12-year-old because my testicles dropped when I was an infant. Thank you very much.
Would you have a moment to show us some of the items in your utility belt?
Yes, absolutely. Let's go into the Sex Boy utility belt. We have, the ever-present lube. That's always here. That's a variety of Durex sheaths. We have these. There they are. We have, Masters and Johnson's instructional videos. Yes,
Oh, videos. Do you have the book as well?
Pardon me?
Do you have the book as well?
Sex Boy can't read good.
Oh.
Sexboy, I didn't.
Anyway, I don't know why I said that, but I just said that. So, what else do I have in my bag? Oh, my utility belt. Right over here, the wonderful Sexboy Ildo Day. There it is. Take a look at that, huh?
What is that
Isn't
thing?
that beautiful? It's a lovely shade of violet.
I see
Sexboy.
something hanging out of your utility belt. It almost looks like a caterpillar. It's a ball and then some string.
It's a
and then
French tickler. It's a
okay.
French tickler. That's what it is. Yes, sirree. That's what it is. Sexboy, traveling the world, making sure people enjoy sex. Yeah. Here's the good news. I really, I've had to slow down on my world travels there because, of course, we've got countries that have population explosions.
Yes.
Now, you might say that's a problem for world health. I say that's Sexboy doing his job. Sexboy. All right, I gotta go, boys. Flying down to Australia this week. Thank you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, take care of yourself, Sexboy. Yeah. And by the way, before I get out of here, let me just say hi to one of my close personal friends on the show, Pony.
Hey, what's up?
Still writing me those weekly letters. They're not doing any good, though, are they?
No, they're not. I need more power, Sexboy.
Yeah. Okay, more power, more time out in bars, less time at spaghetti parties. Sexboy, out.
Well, I love when he comes by. What an unexpected pleasure.
That was a treat. You don't get a chance to see Sexboy very much. I completely forgot what
Mike,
we were talking about.
If there's one movie you have to see, it's going to be Jurassic World right now.
That's the one that that's the go-to.
Ant-Man, I wanted to tell you, isn't your typical superhero movie. I think you can actually take your kid to it.
Really?
And be totally cool.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Cool. And it's got Michael Douglas in it.
Yeah.
He's got a pretty good role. Paul Rudd is
and the
fun.
concept, I didn't know anything about him except for what I'd heard in passing or what Chad has told me.
It's a comic book
And you know
movie,
who's
right?
really into it? Howard Stern was into Ant-Man before they even made the movie because I used to hear Howard talk about him. And I was like, who the F would ever make a movie called Ant-Man? But they did it in such a way that it gives you a complete different perspective on these movies. I enjoyed it. It's getting over 80% of Rotten Tomatoes, not as much as Amy Schumer's movie, who's getting a higher rating.
Really?
All right, so let me give you the background. If you've been living in a cave, let me tell you. Forced out of his own company by former protege Darren Cross, Dr. Hank Pym recruits the talents of Scott Lang, a master thief just released from prison. Lang becomes Ant-Man, trained by Pym and armed with a suit that allows him to shrink in size, possess superhuman strength, and control an army of ants. The miniature hero must use his new skills to prevent Cross, also known as Yellow Jacket, another insect, from perfecting the same technology and using it as a weapon for evil.
All right, Oscar, let me ask you this because this is how we can sell Mike.
Yes.
How much of Ant-Man is story and how much of it is special effects?
I would say 50-50.
All right, you should have gone
50-50
higher
is a
on
tremendous
story.
ratio, but that means I'm still not going. That's all there is to it. How many, what is the Oscar scale, by the way? Do we have a scale for Oscar?
Well,
Is it
I'll say 5 stars. I'm going to give
5
it.
stars.
Well, it shouldn't be stars. It should be like burritos or something.
Hey.
Come on.
Hey,
now, you had
I'm
to
just
go with the
spitballing
obvious
here.
stereotype
Running for
here.
office now? Jeez.
I really, you know what? If you're going to be a little creative, I would have gone with jalapenos.
No.
How many
not doing
Panetones
that.
do you give it?
No.
On a scale of 1 to 10 Panetones, 10 Panetones being the best.
No. I'm not doing Panetones.
Hey, but you know what? He's doing something that's more fun. And before we get out of here, I just wanted to ask him this weekend, Laurel, Maryland, toy planes.
Yeah,
you're gonna be
going
doing
out,
it?
man. I got my
Toy
AMA
planes.
license.
That's what they
Right.
call them too, Mike. In the
You got a
business.
license? You're
I've
licensed
got my,
now?
Yeah, I got my AMA license in the mail, and I'm going to get up
AMA
there.
stands for?
It's what is it? Aviation model, some dorkfest. Who knows what it is? But I had to get it in order to get on the field, and I have it now. And I'm
Are
heading
you going to
out.
rent or are you going to borrow? Or are you
No,
gonna buy
I have
your
a
own
friend
plane?
who has the planes, and we're going to gas them up and take them out and fly them.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot
I
of
think
fun.
that would be awfully fun. I can't wait for a
Yeah.
review. I think that'll be.
I'm going
very,
to try
very
to
cool.
periscope the event.
So they
By
are.
the way,
they're,
how much?
they're combustion engines?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I've seen these things there, and the wingspan of these things can be like 4 or 5 feet, right? They
Some
can
of
be
them are
huge.
10 feet. They're huge.
Really?
We
And how
got to throw them in the back of a pickup truck to even take them out.
How much do these actually go for when you're?
$600, $900. They're not that expensive. The real art of it is putting them together and dealing with the remote control. So that's maybe another $300. But I thought there would be. As a kid, I was like, "Oh my God, those are thousands of dollars." And
That's what I would think.
Yeah,
I think they were thousands of dollars.
The
I thought
newer-
they were more expensive.
The gas ones are now kind of older models, but my friend's a purist, so he just runs the gas ones. He doesn't run the battery powered ones.
Are the
And
battery powered ones more
they're
expensive?
more expensive now because they're more modern. But
And do they have can you get? They have jets too, right? Don't they have jets? Some of them are
I
jets.
can't
They're not prop planes.
There are some with jets. I haven't seen one personally, but maybe this weekend I'll see one.
Do they crash as often as drone people crash them?
Drone people actually crash them less than because when you're flying a plane or even a helicopter, it's 10 times harder. It's 10 times harder because you don't have a system keeping that plane in the air. It's not a GPS just carrying it and holding it in place.
And you have to have forward momentum as opposed to up
Yeah,
and down.
and he talks about when something happens to a flap or something happens to a wing when they're flying. He says how they have to glide the planes down sometimes.
Wow.
See,
Wow.
that's a jet one right there.
That's a turbine jet.
Yeah, SR-71.
How cool
Look at
is
that?
that?
Yeah,
Isn't
that's
that
how
neat?
big they are. Yeah, and that's
That
what
is
really
very,
drew me
very
to them. I said, you have these like scaled airplanes with the detail. You see the rivets on the side of the planes. So cool. Now,
Yeah, and the engines are actually working engines. on
yeah,
these
they're working
things, right?
engines.
Very cool.
And there's actually a great video on the web if you want to know more about this. They have a Boeing jet that they scaled that flies in a hangar. The most impressive video I've ever seen of an actual scaled down airliner flying around a big warehouse, and you're just waiting for that thing to like hit a hit a beam or something. But the guy's just phenomenal with it.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's
Now, I'm
really
gonna
an
show
art form
Oscar
in my
another
eyes.
picture that I found online.
Yes.
Here. This is just a series of pictures where it's got
Yeah,
like
gorgeous.
a super. I mean, these are massive. These are
Yeah.
absolute.
Well,
there's
that's
people
how-
sitting in them. Wait a minute. What's that?
And
that's
one of those guys is Pony.
Yeah,
What's he doing in there?
I just think it's
Just cheaper.
interesting that people, what a creative and safe and I would say kind of healthy hobby, right?
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody do blimps?
I'm sure people do Zeppelin.
I would love to see a rigid airship up in the
There
sky.
it is.
Right?
It always gets back to the Hindenburg with him.
You see, what makes you think I wasn't thinking of something from Goodyear, huh?
No, I think you'd like to get out there. That would get you out to Laurel if somebody could bring the Hindenburg back in and recreate the whole disaster.
That's
That'd
great.
be fun for you.
I've been stockpiling hydrogen for weeks. That's why.
We'll take a break. Come back with more. You are listening to the Mike O'Mara News You May Not Need is next on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Do you ever hear strange voices in your head?
Yeah, get in me. Come on, get in me. Get in me.
Do you ever make references like
boat,
and
Hello, how are you?
when you open your mouth, does it feel like someone else is talking?
The boat would sink. It would sink down to the bottom of the sea.
Do you ever wish there was a place for TMOS fans just like you? Well, now there is. Omericast is welcoming P1 listeners like me and you to be a part of the show.
But I'm using this now purely as my own psychotherapy.
Omericast. Get better.
Very nice. I like that. Who did that? Do we know who did
Yeah,
that one?
P1 Courtney Calkins. He's been giving us a lot of stuff, including ones I'm not allowed to play anymore because they
Thank
made
you,
you
Courtney.
uneasy.
Hey, you blow up some once in a while. Welcome back to the show, brought to you by Touch of Modern. Remember the feeling of being a kid in a candy store? Surrounded by delicious treats, each one looking better than the last. Now you can relive that childlike excitement with the newest products and stylings at touchofmodern.com. I was surfing touchofmodern.com yesterday, and what I love is they've got such an incredible variety. It's not all super new stuff. You have
Right.
vintage watches. They had some used Rollies that were on the website yesterday. They have some very, very modern stuff as well. They have the Oscar Santana wallet collection, I like to call it. I almost pulled the
yeah.
trigger on the super modern aluminum wallet, which
So neat.
appeared to be a wallet that was put together with some sort of space-age alloy and bungee cords.
Nice
but
and
I
light,
didn't pull
Mike.
the trigger.
Nice and light.
Touch of Modern connects directly with top designers for great stuff. They scour the globe for unique design-focused products, jaw-dropping tech, sleek iPhone cases. They've got it, vintage watches, home decor. They've got it all. Touch of Modern has new sales launching every day. I urge you to go to touchofmodern.com just to surf because you will see right away that you scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and you still don't get through all the stuff they have. It's great. Right now, our listeners can get immediate access when they sign up at touchofmodern.com. That's touchofmodern.com, and you get the access. Do it today because tomorrow it'll be different. That's how life rolls in the fast lane. That is touchofmodern.com. You'll love it, I guarantee you, and we'd love you to check it out today, ladies and gentlemen.
News.
In 1993, a writer named Harry Hurt III released a Donald Trump biography called Lost Tycoon. The Many Lives of Donald J. Trump. And it included a claim that Donald raped his wife Ivana before they divorced. Supposedly in 1989, Donald got upset with her and pulled out clumps of her hair, then sexually assaulted her. During their divorce proceedings in the early 90s, she characterized it as rape and said she felt violated by it. But when the book came out, it included a disclaimer from Ivana that she did not mean to insinuate that it was rape. Whether it was or it wasn't, Donald's attorney, Michael Cohen, responded yesterday with a statement that's literally as asinine as anything Donald might say himself. Here's his actual statement, quote, "You're talking about the front runner for the GOP presidential candidate as well as private individual who never raped anybody. And of course, understand that by the very definition, you can't rape your spouse." Wrong, Mr. Cohen.
Wow.
That is incorrect. So it's not Donald as much as this attorney for Donald.
How dare
who is
he?
on the hot seat here. And yes, how dare that bastard.
Yeah, right.
And he was being threatening with the Daily Beast. I guess that's who he was trying to threaten.
What
when
you've
he
got,
was,
Mike, is
doing
you've
that.
got a very smart presidential candidate surrounding himself with very smart people.
Yes. Well, he's got a pit bull lawyer. That's what he's got.
That's
and of
it.
course, Donald Trump would have a pit bull lawyer, and Donald Trump would only have the kind of lawyer that shoots from the hip and tries to intimidate.
But
That
after
doesn't
that
surprise
comment,
me.
don't you think Pitbull himself would be a better lawyer?
That's my pit bull impression.
That's pretty good.
For some reason, The View is bringing Sherry Shepherd back.
Yes!
Come on.
Woo!
Stop it.
Yeah!
Stop it.
All
No.
Getting desperate.
She left last August after several seasons on the show. 2 months ago, she returned for the first time as guest host. Now she's going to be a regular part of the show. Of course. It's people like this that don't just vanish, okay? Of course she's going to be back on television, but she won't be a permanent co-host. According to reports, she'll serve as, quote, lead contributor.
That doesn't. They should give her
That
her own
show's
segment.
doomed.
Mike.
That show's going to die.
She
That
should
show's
have
gonna
her
die.
own segment, and they should call it Shepherd's Pie. That would be delicious, don't you think?
I wouldn't want to see that pie.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, I had to say
I think
that.
I found a pea.
She's expected to appear in about 50 episodes, and there will be several other contributors, including fashion consultant Stacey London and actress Molly Sims. I like Molly Sims.
Okay, that's a step,
we'll
anyway.
see what happens. Bobby Christina got extremely drunk the night before her mom died, fell asleep in a bathtub at the Beverly Hilton, and flooded the room. And it could be critical evidence in the homicide investigation. Law enforcement sources tell TMZ that Bobby was partying with Whitney Houston at the Beverly Hilton bar, got drunk and unruly. Bobby Christina went up to her room, drew a bath, fell asleep in the tub intoxicated. By the time she woke up, there was water everywhere. Sources tell TMZ attorney Jose Baez, who reps Bobby's boyfriend Nick Gordon, knows about the incident and will use it to convince prosecutors Nick did nothing wrong. Well, the autopsies come out as well, and there does not seem to be evidence of foul play. We have also learned that the night Whitney Houston was found dead in her tub, Bobby Christina was rushed to the hospital for acute alcohol poisoning.
Wow.
Whitney's PR team said it was for exhaustion, but law enforcement tells TMZ rather it was excessive alcohol. It's relevant, especially in light of the medical examiner's preliminary autopsy report, which reveals no obvious evidence of foul play. Now, those are just facts. I'm giving them to you. Interpret it any way you want. I still think it's a tragedy for that whole
Very
family
sad.
that nobody stepped in and helped her, and obviously she was crying for help all over the
Enablers.
Back in December, 63-year-old Johanna Casimore got caught shoplifting $258 worth of stuff from outside of a Walmart, actually from inside a Walmart in scenic, beautiful Mount Olive, New Jersey. Her trial was earlier this month, and the judge fined her $250 plus court costs. She also got 10 days of community service, but in addition to that, he said that she's not allowed to set foot in any Walmart for the rest of her life.
Wow.
Johanna thinks that's excessive, so she's appealing. She says Walmart can ban her for life if they want to, but a judge shouldn't have that authority.
Well, this is good news for Target, Mike.
The thing is, Walmart already banned her. She signed a form at another Walmart a few years ago that said she'd never go to one of their stores again. It's not clear if she was caught shoplifting that time, too. Also, she's not planning to obey the order. This should end well. Even if she loses her appeal, she hasn't gone back to the Walmart she got caught at, but she says she's already gone to several other Walmarts nearby.
How do you stop someone?
Well, you know
That
what she's
sucks.
doing, Mike? She's thumbing her nose at authority with great bargains.
Yes. Hugs are great. According to a study from the State University of New York in Buffalo, drunk couples are happier. Now, listen, when I was reading this story, I don't know if I get it. Tell me if you do. I'm going to read it as is. A professor of health behavior named Gregory Homish led the research. He's been studying the behavior and satisfaction of couples for 10 years. He wanted to see if drinking and smoking caused problems in relationships over time, or if it was the difference in the amount of drinking and smoking between a husband and wife that caused problems. So they had 600 couples answer questions before their wedding, a year later, 2 years later, 4, and then 7. Not surprisingly, all couples saw their satisfaction go down over the years, no matter what their vices were. And yeah, drinking and smoking a lot can strain a marriage, but couples with different habits at different levels were more likely to feel dissatisfaction. So based on that, the headline is, drunk couples stay together? I don't get it.
I think what they're saying in an odd way, in a very roundabout way, is that the more compatible you are, the happier you're going to be. If you smoke the same amount, if you drink the same amount. I mean, it's the same thing as if you watch the same TV shows.
Oh, here it is. It says, in other words, couples who both drank and smoked were more likely to be happy with their marriage, and they were even more likely to be happy if it was at the same level. Also, the satisfaction was higher when it comes to alcohol compared to smoking. That makes sense for health issues. And, unfortunately, right up until that point, Pony, you were telling me you had a chance.
That's right.
But anyway. And now a little something. A 30-year-old guy named Octavio Della Suari got pulled over in Wayne, New Jersey last week. A lot of New Jersey news today.
Wayne!
He cut across a lane to make an exit on the highway and cut off a cop. That's pretty dumb for multiple reasons. He also is a convicted felon who's not allowed to have firearms, and he had a loaded gun in the car. But somehow that wasn't the dumbest part of it. When the cop walked up to his car, he noticed Octavio's hands were shaking, and his nose and mouth were covered in cocaine. But when he asked him about it, Octavio claimed it wasn't drugs. It was because he'd just eaten a powdered donut. Thank you, Octavio. Not surprisingly, the cop didn't buy it. Shocking, I know. He also found inside the car 17 oxycodone pills because, as we all know, nothing goes better with a donut than painkillers, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely. Another health tip from the Mike O'Mara Show. We'll take a break. Come back with Rob Spiewak in the Audio Vault right here, everybody. I want to tell you.
Hello, this is Kate from Washington, D.C.
And this is Cookie from Savannah, Georgia. It's really unfortunate by the time we get together, we're stale.
Such is the life of baked goods on a podcast. Brand new stale comedy for you each and every week. Available at MikeO'MaraShow.com. Just click the cake and cookie thingy.
Cake and Cookies, the podcast that has nothing to do with cake or cookies. It's Rob and Katie.
Did you edit in her little parrot laugh there?
No, it caught her after a bottle of wine. It's pretty easy target.
Okay, very good.
Brand new one available right now, by the way.
Looking forward to it. Stamps.com, that is our sponsor for the Audio Vault today. You do whatever it takes to make sure that your business runs efficiently, but constant trips to the post office can really get in the way and slow you down. If you don't want to slow yourself down, you owe it to yourself to use Stamps.com. Spend less time at the post office and more time growing your business. Stamps.com, we've been telling you for years, makes mailing and shipping easy. You use your own computer and printer to buy and print official U.S. postage for any letter or package. Stamps.com does all the thinking for you. They provide you with a digital scale that calculates the exact postage you need and helps you figure out the best way to send it. No overspending. Don't be one of the rubes at the post office standing in line. You owe it to yourself to go to Stamps.com. It's the best. I send all my friends Stamps.com packages, but I won't tell you what's in them. Right now, use the code TMOS for this special offer, a no-risk trial plus a $110 bonus offer, including the digital scale and up to $55 in free postage. Don't wait. Go to Stamps.com, and before you do anything else, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage and type in TMOS. Stamps.com and TMOS. You will never go to the post office again. Let's open up the Audio Vault for today, Tuesday, July 28, 2015. Rob Spiewak.
Hey, Mike. Hey! You know what's great is that both of my kids are past the age. I love watching your brain work.
Thank you. You know what he knows he's going to play that, and it's going to cause me to do that.
That's right.
Hey! Now here is Caitlyn Jenner. Here's the newsmaker quote of the day. Caitlyn Jenner quoting from the Donald Trump attorney.
Okay.
It's really not illegal if it's between spouses.
Thank you.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Thank you very much.
CJ, stopping by. You are going to still have the opportunity to see young Michael play the recorder. This is a required instrument for all elementary school kids where I'm come from. I went through it with Jabril. I went through it with Julia. I went through it with Robert. I hate the recorder. This is a horrible instrument. However, there's a guy named Medhat in Egypt, Mike. His name is Medhat Mamdouh, and he is.
I'm sorry. What is his name again?
Medhat Mamdouh. That's the guy.
Thank you very much, Rob.
He has figured out a way to beatbox and play the recorder simultaneously. I put his video up on our YouTube page. You're going to like this. Check it out. He's doing a little Michael Jackson thing here.
I like it.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, impressive in a 2 minutes online viral way, but not really. It's not like he's going to be going to Juilliard with that.
Who said that nothing great came out of the Arab Spring?
That's right, exactly. And by the way,
I like
that's how he runs his recorder. It actually is full of Arab Springs. It's all resistance.
I tell you,
Mike, it's okay. First of all, Snoop Dogg is okay.
That was the laugh for the last joke.
Snoop Dogg was arrested in Sweden because they thought he might have drugs. Now, where they got this idea, I have no idea. But during the whole arrest, Snoop Dogg was posting small videos on Instagram. Here's Snoop Dogg's play-by-play of being arrested in Sweden.
Got me in the back of a police car right now in Sweden, cuz. Pulled it over for nothing. Taking us to the station where I got to go pee in the cup for nothing. I ain't did nothing. All I did was came to this country and did a concert, and now I got to go to the police station for nothing.
In the police station doing a report on me, cuz. Racial profile. Came and snatched me out of my car. Brought me down here. I'm in Sweden right now.
Poor Snoop.
It's all good, dog. What up, though? This Snoop Dogg. I know a lot of y'all concerned about me. I made it through. They took me down there, made me pee in the cup, didn't find no case, no nothing.
Right.
But like Minister Farrakhan say, it's better to be searched and not found with nothing than not to be searched at all.
Exactly.
Okay, well, what's
How did he chronicle
work?
all of that? Did he just they had his cell phone on him?
Yeah, I guess Sweden has different policies.
Yeah, but what did he do? Did he get his bodyguard's urine or something like that, like in between the cop car and going to pee in the cup? Because that's Snoop, everybody. That had to have. I mean, that had to be a positive.
There might
test,
have been some trickery. There might have been some trickery. Who knows? But he's okay. Jimmy Kimmel says,
maybe he takes a whole bunch of urine with him or something.
Now, do you carry that on or do you check it?
I have no idea. But stop picking on Snoop, people. Come on, Swedish police.
But
Stop.
Jimmy Kimmel brought up a very interesting thing about Sweden and the fact that they take their drug control very seriously.
Meanwhile, in Sweden on Saturday, Snoop Dogg was taken into custody on suspicion of drug use. They're very strict on marijuana in Sweden because, if Swedish people smoke pot, no one would ever be able to follow the instructions to build anything from IKEA.
Also, last night, Robert is not as into wrestling as he used to be, but we still occasionally check in on WWE Monday Night Raw. People will tell you wrestling is fake. I will say it's scripted, but it's not fake. John Cena got his nose busted last night, and it was horrifying. Blood, nose to the side of his face, and swollen up.
Well, let me ask you this. Was it an accident? Because they don't normally get hurt like that.
This, to me, looked like it was an accident. It looked like
something went wrong.
A knee throw went wrong. Anyway, he was defending his title, and Seth Rollins broke his nose.
Here comes Rollins. Rollins getting the upper hand. Seth wants to show he can stand toe-to-toe with John. He did a pretty damn good job of it. Yes, he did. Hit Cena right in the nose with a knee. Give Seth credit. With that he did. Thrust. Wow. Put him right in the nose with a knee, and Cena's feeling it now, and the official's going to back Rollins off. May have broken John Cena's nose. Cena is hurt. Well, Cena comes out here. Problem is, it's not the pain, it's not the wooziness. I'm telling you, it is the vision. He's got a broken nose. Look at his nose. Oh. John Cena's nose is definitely broken. You can see it by just looking at it there. Cena's nose is on the side of his face. Look at that. That is awful.
It was nasty, and I like John Cena a lot. It was hard to look at.
Not fake.
Tugboat wouldn't have broken anybody's nose.
Tugboat?
Mike, can you recreate Tugboat's signature sound? Do you want to know what's wrong with America? Let's close with this. Is the fact that last night the Bachelorette chose Sean.
Yes, Sean.
And this is how this show ends. And listen to, these are people that are on a reality show and they're going to get married. We shouldn't be watching and condoning this.
You have already made me the happiest guy in the world.
Sean.
And all I want to do is make you the happiest girl in the world. I love you so much, Caitlin.
And I've been waiting so long to tell you how I feel. Because
She's been waiting so long. 4 episodes.
I love you with all of my heart. Like I've never loved anybody before.
Caitlin Bristow, will you marry me?
Wow. Sean.
No words. Vocabulary challenged.
150%.
150%, we're going to get married. Okay. Hey, idiots. That's your magic audio ball.
Hold on just a second. We got another one. Now another newsmaker quote from Caitlin Jenner. Bring her
CJ
here.
coming in.
Okay.
Hey, babe.
150%.
That's your magic audio ball. Have a great Tuesday, everybody.
I held out as long as I could.
Awesome.
Another Mike O'Mara show is coming on. It's making me laugh. Be sure and join us again
For more fun and more thrills.
at MikeO'MaraShow.com if you would want to correspond with the show.
Yeah.
You know the address.
That's right.
Anyway, send a message into Rob. It's tomorrow. Rob with 2 B's at MikeO'MaraShow.com. Clever letters, clever birthday wishes, all that good stuff. Rob likes to hoard it during the week, and we do it for you on Wednesday's show.
Yeah,
That's
send
tomorrow,
them late
everybody.
tonight. Send them very late tonight.
The Mike O'Mara Show relies on your word of mouth. Make sure you tell everybody about our audiobook, Open Mic, available now, $6.99. You can get it on iTunes or at MikeO'MaraShow.com or Google Play or Amazon. Get it there, and we appreciate you buying the book. That is our summer fundraiser, everybody. For Rob Spiewak and Oscar Santana, Mike O'Mara inviting you to join us again for another episode of the Mike O'Mara Show. Bye-bye.
So long.
Ciao, ciao.
Wait, don't go. I need to tell you that MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon is perfect for all your online shopping needs. Shop the best way. Shop Amazon. And please go through our website, always open at MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.